Just riling Glazier up a little bit more. He's setting his feet.
In the second round.
There's the showboating.
Just looking out of the ring.
Confidence is essential in any sport, but in the world of boxing, it is not enough to simply believe in your own ability. Sometimes you have to embody it, live it, and flaunt at every opportunity. Ben Whittaker, one of the brightest and most controversial stars in the sport today. Does just that. Arrogant, elusive, and undeniably talented, Whittaker's rise to prominence has been nothing short of extraordinary.
Good lad. Stay on that leader.
His personality, just as much as his boxing skills, has made him one of the most talked about fighters in the game. In this video, we dive deep into what makes Ben Whittaker the most arrogant and elusive fighter in boxing today. The making of a showman. Ben Whittaker wasn't always in the spotlight.
Put him in his box, put him in his place.
But from the moment he stepped into a boxing gym as a child, it was clear that he had a unique gift. Born on June 6, 1997 in Darwin, England, Whittaker grew up in a tough neighborhood. Like many young athletes from hard backgrounds, sport became his escape, and boxing, in particular, became his way out. His father, Tony Whittaker, played a crucial role in his early development, introducing him to the sport and pushing him to channel his youthful energy into something productive. Ben's natural talent was evident early on.
Nice. Good lad. Keep going.
It wasn't just his ability to throw a punch, but his tactical intelligence and eye for the big picture. By the time he was a teenager, Whittaker was already a dominant figure on the British amateur boxing scene. His sharp jab, defensive mastery, and ability to make opponents miss with ease stood out.
There's that left to the body.
But beyond his technical prowess, Ben exhibited a certain swagger, even at that young age. Winning wasn't enough for him. He wanted to look good doing it. Whittaker's style was more than just effective, it was a show. He had a flair for the dramatic, often executing moves that were not only skillful, but also designed to entertain.
On that upper body movement can get you in trouble. Ben Whittaker can be flat-footed.
In boxing, confidence is key, but Ben took it to another level. He wanted to be seen, remembered, and above all, talked about. Silver medal, and not much else. In 2021, Whittaker reached the pinnacle of amateur boxing when he competed in the Tokyo Olympics, representing Great Britain in the light heavyweight division. He displayed his remarkable skills to the world, breezing through opponents with a mix of finesse and audacity. Whittaker reached the final, where he faced Cuba's Arlen Lopez, a veteran with a reputation for being tough and battle-hardened.
The cards, and frankly, could have gone either way. Lots of
In a closely contested match, Lopez edged out Whittaker, taking the gold in a decision that left Ben with a silver medal. Now, most athletes will be content with an Olympic silver medal, one of the highest honors in sport. But not Ben Whittaker. His infamous reaction to his second-place finish sent shockwaves through the boxing world. He refused to wear the silver medal on the podium, making headlines with his statement, "You don't win silver, you lose gold." This moment perfectly encapsulated Whittaker's personality, a fighter who viewed second place not as an achievement effortlessly, but as a failure. His reaction sparked debate. Some praised his unwavering drive and refusal to accept anything less than gold, while others found his behavior disrespectful to his competitors. Regardless of where you stood, one thing was clear. Ben Whittaker was not going to play by the rules of humility that most athletes abide by.
This is what you get from Ben Whittaker, looking for that long right hand. More orthodox now again, looking for that long right, landed it.
His personality, both polarizing and unapologetic, was here to stay. Turning professional. After the Olympics, Whittaker turned professional in July 2022, making his debut in the pro ranks with a high-profile boxing promotion. From the moment he stepped into the ring, it was clear that Whittaker wasn't here to simply box. He was here to perform. His debut was a spectacle in itself. Entering the ring with all the bravado of a seasoned champion, Ben taunted his opponent, dropped his hands, and danced around the ring, daring his opponent to hit him. He was a showman, and his performance was everything fans had hoped for and more. But it wasn't just about showmanship. Whittaker's skills were on full display. He dodged punches effortlessly, then countered with precision. His combination of style and substance was a hit, but more than anything, he made it clear that he was not content with simply being another boxer in the crowd. He was here to take over the British boxing scene.
He's putting the punches together a bit more here, but just walked onto an uppercut there from Whittaker.
His confidence, bordering on arrogance, was rooted in a deep belief in his abilities, and he was determined to make everyone else believe in them too. As Whittaker himself said, "If you don't believe you're the best, then why even fight?"
Left hand there from Whittaker, and the referee has jumped in. Stop the fight, the corner don't like it.
This mindset, while often dismissed as cocky, became his trademark. He wasn't just boxing to win, he was boxing to prove a point. The art of moving like a ghost. What truly sets Ben Whittaker apart from his peers is his elusive nature in the ring. When it comes to boxing, most fighters rely on their power or technique to win. But Whittaker has something that few others possess, an almost supernatural ability to avoid being hit. His footwork is impeccable.
Much talent. He probably has to work harder because there's so many different areas that he can exploit. Winding up his punches, and O'Neal.
Always shifting, always in motion, and never allowing his opponents to land a clean shot. He's like a ghost in the ring, present one moment, gone the next. His head movement is equally remarkable, often making it appear as if his opponents are swinging at thin air. Whittaker frustrates his adversaries by making them miss time and again. But this elusiveness is more than just a defensive tactic. It's part of his strategy.
People at ringside, Grant is not going to...
By frustrating his opponents, he forces them into mistakes. They become reckless, overcommitting in an attempt to land a punch. And that's when Whittaker strikes.
Whittaker just hopping in on one foot there, and I don't think they're really going to be able to control this, the training team. This is how he's going to choose to...
Boxing analysts have often compared his defensive style to that of Floyd Mayweather, with one key difference. Whittaker doesn't just shut his opponents down, he plays with them. He taunts his adversaries by dropping his hands leaning back and smiling as their punches sail harmlessly by. While some may call it arrogance, others see it as a display of confidence and control. For Ben, it's all about making his opponents pay for daring to engage with him. Arrogance. With Whittaker's incredible skills comes a certain level of arrogance. He wears his cockiness like a badge of honor.
Aziz, who were quite a distance away, that's going to be a hard conversation to have, to be honest.
I think it's Johnny who's shouting.
And he doesn't shy away from reminding the world of how good he is. Interviews with Ben often feature him confidently declaring that he is the best, and not just the best in the UK, but the best in the world. This unapologetic self-assurance has earned him a devoted fan base, but it has also made him a target for critics. In boxing, arrogance can be a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it can fuel a fighter's desire to prove themselves, but on the other hand, it can leave them vulnerable. Overconfidence in the ring can lead to mistakes, and in a sport where one punch can change everything, some wonder whether Whittaker's arrogance will be his undoing. Boxing pundits have warned that Whittaker's flamboyant style and cocky demeanor could cost him in the future. With his hands often down and his showmanship on full display, some fear that Ben is playing with fire and that one day an opponent will catch him off guard. But so far, Whittaker has continued to back up his words with his actions.
From the Albanian.
His ability to perform in the ring, even when his showmanship is at its peak, has silenced many of his critics. His confidence is not without reason. He is truly one of the most skilled boxers in the game today. Love him or hate him, Ben Whittaker is nothing if not divisive. For every fan who loves his antics, there is another who finds his behavior obnoxious. In the age of social media, his brash personality has only heightened his fame or infamy.
Do you? Hey, there's another one. My nigga want me. Hey.
His His flashy style, trash talk, and arrogant attitude have earned him legions of followers, but they've also made him a target for those who prefer their athletes to be more humble. But Ben doesn't care. In fact, he thrives on the attention, whether it's positive or negative. He knows that in the world of boxing, the more attention you draw, the more successful you'll become. Whether fans are tuning in to watch him win or lose, they're still tuning in. And that's all that matters to him. In today's boxing world, charisma is just as important as skill, and Whittaker checks both boxes. His ability to entertain and draw in fans with his larger-than-life personality has made him one of the most marketable fighters of his generation. He understands that boxing is not just about fighting, it's about creating a spectacle, and he's more than happy to play the villain if it means staying in the spotlight. Can Whittaker reach the top? Ben Whittaker's professional journey is still in its early stages, but his talent and personality have already made a significant impact on the sport. The path to a world title will not be easy, and the competition in the light heavyweight division is fierce. But if there's one thing Whittaker has shown, is that he thrives on challenges. Whether you love him or hate him, one thing is certain. Ben Whittaker is a fighter you cannot ignore. His combination of skill, showmanship, and confidence, bordering on arrogance, has made him a standout figure in boxing. The question remains, will his cockiness eventually catch up with him, or will it propel him to greatness? Only time will tell. For now, Ben Whittaker remains one of the most talked about figures in boxing. Arrogant, elusive, and undeniably talented, he is the fighter to watch in the years to come. For more videos on the most exciting stories in boxing, don't forget to subscribe to Battle Link